Hello everybody, Ace and Beaky here, talking to you from this wonderful time past 4 in the morning. I have a bit of a theory for you about a question that a lot of people have asked, and they've come up with their own little theories, which could probably 10 times better than mine, but a lot of them have been partially skewed by prejudice. A lot of people are wondering, why are Americans so divided? Some people might want to say something that's technically true, but unfair, as in, why are millennials so messed up? Or why are people so sensitive? It's always the younger generation. It's the people that I don't like that are the problem for everything. I wasn't even trying to imitate Trump's voice there, but it happened by accident. But the thing is that a lot of people across the spectrum have become so divided, so culturally balkanized, and so tribalistic that people can't agree on anything, and it's not even out of principle, it's out of spite, it's out of prejudice, that people are so divided that things that they would normally be able to easily agree on or compromise on, they can't, because they can't stand each other. It's like a divorcing couple, that they're fighting over something and even moving the goalpost and changing what they're really mad about, because they are so agitated and emotionally allergic to each other that everything needs to be a fight. And they'll try and cover it up to look self-righteous. They'll try and cover it up to look like they're in the right and the other person's in the wrong by wrapping around several layers of, valid complaints and half-true justifications. But at the end of the day, despite how sophisticated they make it look on the outside, this is because people are going through a cultural divorce. And I've been tempted to call it the Great Divorce of what's happening in America right now, where we're divorcing ourselves from ideals and we're divorcing ourselves from group identity. We've been, whether it's religion, business, politics, nationalism, we've been so absorbed with feeling that we're moving gears in a broader machine, and that we've been in this relationship, this business deal, to the point where it's like everybody's breaking up with their significant others, and even though it's going down in an unpleasant way, and a lot of people are doing it in a messed up way for messed up reasons, some of this could be good. Evil people are trying to twist it for their own means, but some of this could be good, to where people have to kind of break up, not just in solid relationships with between a man, a woman, or a spouse and a significant other, or a person kind of having a falling out with his family or friends, but it is time for people to realize, whenever I attach myself to anything that requires any sort of attachment, any sort of commitment, whether it's something as abstract as a philosophy, a religion, a political orientation, or if it's an idea of identity like my culture or my race or my religion, or if it's in a relationship with a significant other, with a business, with my country, with how I perceive my country, now is the time to kind of do a factory reset to all those relationships and all those tribalistic identities, kind of cleaning out, dropping your subscriptions to relationships in the same way that people cancel their subscriptions to magazines and say, is this really what I'm about? Because maybe now's the time to basically break up, have a great divorce, a cultural divorce with a lot of the things that we thought we were all about. But maybe it's because those things have changed. Maybe it's because we've changed. Maybe it's because we came in and we thought it was about one thing and it was never about that. Or it was about that, but as time goes on, people change. Different people come and go. People go through different phases. Different regimes are in charge of these standards. The thing is that I've been thinking that the reason why a lot of Americans are so raw and so sensitive about things that normally wouldn't make them sensitive, myself included, that it's not because everybody's just a fucked up, mentally ill pussy weakling. It's not that everybody is just this tender snowflake that just has always been this little bitch that can't take criticism. First of all, some of you so-called tough guys can be sensitive too. You just go about expressing it in different ways. You've got sacred cows. But another thing is that maybe the reason why a lot of people are sensitive about things that wouldn't have hurt them earlier, or that they would have been able to shrug off, is that they're not wearing the armor that they had. They had mental protection. They were able to deal with it because they were in that right mindset. It's like in a video game, whenever you're wearing armor and then you suddenly lose your armor and your defense is lowered, or your defense is lowered because the alteration spell, the iron flesh, stone flesh, whatever spell on Skyrim, it depleted. It's over now. And so you're saying to yourself, well, why is everything hurting other people so much, and why are they being so oversensitive? Well, son, if you have to ask that, look in the mirror and realize that you might be getting oversensitive about things too, including other people being oversensitive. You might have a right to talk about how other people complain too much, but after a while, you're complaining about other people complaining, and you're being offended about other people being offended. One, you might be right about them. Two, I might be right about you. And three, we might need to reevaluate, why does their oversensitivity hurt me? And why are they oversensitive? Why am I oversensitive? And I'm going to tell you, this is what I think it is. I think right now we are raw because we are going through a stage in human evolution, in spiritual evolution, and in life to where we're like a crab or a lobster or anything that sheds its skin or sheds a shell and grows a new one. We have outgrown our old crab shell. We have outgrown our old crab shell. We're a growing crab, and we had a shell, an outer exterior, but we've gotten too big for it. So it's painfully breaking off. And then whenever the shell breaks off, we are soft, we are squishy, we are raw and sensitive to the touch, and everything hurts us. So then, like a crab or a lobster, and there's other animals this happens too, we have to find a nice place under a dark cave, under some rocks, possibly underwater, for us to hide in until our new shell grows on top of our raw skin. Because we're a bigger creature, we're going to need a bigger shell. So the thing is that the transition process between shedding the old shell that we were attached to, literally, but it was too small for us because we've gotten bigger, that hurts. And then we don't have that protection anymore, so we are raw. Anything can just scoop us up and eat us up, yum, because we don't have that shell to protect us. If somebody threw a rock at you when your shell was nice and hard, just bounced off, you barely felt it. Somebody throws a rock at you whenever that shell is gone and it's nothing but just like paper thin skin over raw meat, yeah, it's going to hurt. So the thing is that what we've gone through, we're going through growing pains as a people, as a nation, and as a human race. As a human race, we are shedding our old shell of identity and limited understanding of how the world works. Like a teenager going through puberty, or a middle-aged person going through midlife crisis. And during this transition stage, we are going to be extra sensitive and extra vulnerable. Everything's going to hurt more until that new, refined shell grows over it and takes its place. So in the process, we are going to kind of have to hide and be by ourselves in our little underwater rock cavern, meditating on life and growing as a person for that shell to grow over us. In a way, it's kind of like the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Jesus had to die painfully of his mortal coil. He had to be dead, buried underground for several days, and even go through hell where we couldn't see him, and then he could come back and be resurrected in a more powerful form, accomplishing what he needed to accomplish. That's what we're going through right now, people. So yes, there is validity to point out to yourself that a lot of things that normally wouldn't piss you off, whether you're a conservative, you're a liberal, you're a Christian, you're an atheist, you're a Muslim, Jew, Wiccan, New Age, whatever, straight, gay, black, white, it doesn't matter. The reason why a lot of us as human beings are so raw, so oversensitive, everything gets under our skin, is because we've lost our skin. But it's not because we're all a bunch of fucked up pussies, and it's not all because it's not always our fault. How we deal with it is our responsibility. We should make the best of it and try to rise above. But right now, considering what we're going through as individuals, as a nation, and as a human race, We are going through the death, the burial, the resurrection. We are the crab. We are the lobster. We are going through the pain of losing the old outer shell so that we can grow larger, and then a new, tougher shell will come in on top of that. And I say this because it's really easy to get down on yourself and get down on other people for being so raw and oversensitive now. And we still have to take responsibility for our actions and try to rise above it. But at the same time, if it helps you forgive yourself and if it helps you forgive others, realize that this is just a painful growing pain, and it will be over soon, or it will be over eventually, and you will come out of that cocoon as a more beautiful butterfly. You'll either come out tougher or you'll come out more free. Anyway, this is Ace and Beaky. Try to put things in perspective and stay positive. Do better than me. Over and out.